Since we at CLPR started organizing ConQuest in 2016, teams from across the country, close to about 10,000 odd students who have participated in ConQuest.
Take 5 rounds of quizzing, plus 10 if you get it right, minus 10 if you get it wrong.
ConQuest has evolved into the largest quiz and educational activity celebrating India's constitutional history and politics in the country.
Teams which are bouncing, I need you to raise your hands now.
I think the initiative of CLPR to begin ConQuest certainly is important for every student in India, not just law students.
Coming from an engineering college background, we aren't really exposed to this domain of policy or law or constitution.
Quizzing is an amazing way of learning.
Pedagogy adopted by this quiz program was itself an educative experience.
It should be cool to know the Constitution and engage with it.
See who will be the national champions. 3, 2, and 1. Constituent Assembly do not accept the proposal.
So this is space travel.
She operated a radio station.
Where Ambedkar goes on to
Artificial intelligence.
That's correct, plus 5 to
I
you.
need an answer right now. Okay, looks like the pressure got the best out of them. Welcome to ConQuest National Finals. Let's look at this wonderful video which celebrates the constitution-making process.
We the people, having solemnly resolved to constitute India, battled the British for over a century on the streets and in the courts and assemblies to realize our collective desire for freedom from colonial authoritarian rule. This found an early voice in 1895 with the Swaraj Bill, which demanded a dominion state with equality for all and freedom of speech. In 1928, Motilal Nehru's report went further to call for self-governance and minority rights. However, both demands fell on deaf ears. So on 26 January 1930, the Indian National Congress declared Purna Swaraj, or complete independence, discarding the demand for dominion status. A year later, at its Karachi session in 1931, the INC demanded comprehensive social and economic rights. Sensing imminent change, M.N. Roy proposed a constitution drafted by a Constituent Assembly of Indians, by Indians and for Indians. The INC embraced this view, and after years of relentless negotiations with the British, a Constituent Assembly was created in 1946. Nearly 300 members, representing all shades of political opinion, diverse religions, ethnicity, and from all over India, met in the plenary assembly and subcommittees across 3 years to draft India's constitution. They made deliberate and radical constitutional choices to first, transition India from a colonial authoritarian state to a constitutional democratic republic with adult franchise and representative legislatures and independent courts to maintain the rule of law. Second, to transform a traditional society built on caste hierarchy and patriarchy into a modern egalitarian society based on every individual's dignity and fraternal relations between them all. Third, usher in a multi-religious secular democracy by assuring individual freedom of religion and keeping the state away from organized religion. And lastly, to restructure a feudal economy based on concentrated or inherited wealth and large landholdings by distributing land and other economic resources and ensuring social and economic welfare. Finally, this new Constitution Republic was born on 26th January 1950. 7 decades later, our Constitutional Republic needs you to be a Constitution defender, to preserve, protect, and realize the progressive constitutional dream to build a new India.
So this is a knowledge property, really celebrating the values that are at the sole force of our Constitution. So it's an initiative by the Center for Law and Policy Research. It's presented by the constitutionofindia.net platform. I urge all of you to go and look at this open digital resource, extremely valuable for anyone, right? It's an initiative by Center for Law and Policy Research. It's supported by the Frederick Norman Foundation for over 7 years now, right? The digital partner is ThePrint, the coverage for the quizzes across the country have been up on ThePrint, and the knowledge partner is QShala. So we are an organization really focused on sparking curiosity. We have a program building life skills for children, and this is one of a property very close to our hearts. And on that note, can we have a huge round of applause for the national finals partner for ConQuest, Ramaiah College of Law, the faculty members, students who have really been a bedrock of support for us here, right? And now, without no further ado, teams from the length and breadth of our country have come down to Bangalore to be part of the national finals. Over 1,000 students from across India have participated in ConQuest, and here are our top 8 teams. Can we have a huge round of applause for our national finalists? First of our national finalists on stage, can we give it up for management students from IIM Calcutta? Piyush Kadia, Urvi Singh, and Abhishek Yadav, please come forward and take your place. We, in fact, had 2 sets of management students, teams from IIM Calcutta, the next team to get qualified for our national finals. Can we give it up for Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, Kunal, Aishwarya, and Jatin from IIM Calcutta, from the Eastern Zone. Moving into our next zone, and they are from the North Zone. Can we have a huge round of applause for Lady Shriram College of Women, Sakshi, Nidhi, and Avni Joshi to please come forward and take your place. After Lady Shriram College, the team that qualified from the Northern Zone is Campus Law Center, Delhi University Faculty of Law. Can we give it up for Adarsh, Kratika, and Mohammad Aisul Islam Khan? Can please come up on stage, please. And from the Northern Zone, we went to the Western Zone, and I take a moment to introduce them because they are champions of ConQuest. They were champions last year and they've gotten qualified this year. Give it up for Goa University, Sachin, Sneha, and Soham. And the next team were also in the top 3 of the national finals last year. Can we have a huge round of applause for NLU Gujarat, JNLU? We have Adya, Surubhi, and Vidita join us on stage. And the last 2 zones is the last zone from South Zone. Can we have a huge round of applause for National Law School, India University, Aditya, Siddhant, and Varenya. They were the champions last week, which was held right in this auditorium. And we welcome them on stage. And finishing up our roundup of the grand finale, can we have a huge round of applause for KL Law College? We have Tushara, Vidyanand, and Siddharth. In fact, it was a very close battle between NLSIU and KLE Law last week. And let's see who the champions are going to be this week in national finals. Right, so we have all the finalists on stage. We'll quickly pick action with a round of introductions from each of the teams. This is also our way of checking if all the mics are working. So quickly, IIM Calcutta, if you can introduce yourselves to the audience in this journey of studying with the Constitution and ConQuest. What is one thing that you truly got to appreciate from this journey about exploring the Constitution? Over to you guys.
Hi, so we are from IIM Calcutta. This is Urvi, I'm Piyush, and this is Abhishek. Yeah. One thing that we got to appreciate was that India was not an easy country to manage when it got independent. And the fact that we have something which has been able to maintain democracy for so long, I think that's very appreciated.
Management students truly looking at the difficulty of getting close to multiple, millions of people, millions of princely, at least thousands of princely states, different interests come together. Absolutely, a great management effort is the Constitution. Fabulous. Moving to Goa University.
Hello everyone. This is Soham to my left, Sneha to my right. I'm Sachin Panikkar. I'm from the land of cancelled plans, that is Goa. right? And one thing I learned from ConQuest quiz, it's a great way to teach Constitution, because Constitution cannot be learned in isolation. It's about politics, it's about history, and there cannot be a better way than ConQuest to put it all together. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Blending history, politics into Constitution is a very important element. All the best, Goa University, the defending champions. Moving on to Lady Shri Ram College. Over to you, folks.
Hello, my name is Avni. I'm a bachelor student of history from Lady Shri Ram College. My teammates are Sakshi and Nidhi. Both are master's students from Lady Shri Ram College of Political Science. And it's an honor to compete with such great teams. And I hope we have a lot of fun. Thank you.
Wonderful. Can we have a huge round of applause for Lady Shri Ram College on Team 3? Next team is KLE Law. Over to you, folks.
Hello, I am Siddharth. Towards my right is Tushara and he's Vidyanand Patil. ConQuest quiz is one of the best experience as a law students where we get to learn more about our constitution, and it makes us curious to learn more about our constitution and politics, and which helps us in doing so.
Wonderful. Getting them, sparking their curiosity on the constitution. Now for Campus Law Center. Over to you, folks.
Hello, good morning, guys. So we are from Campus Law Center. I am Adarsh Das. This is Azizul Islam Khan, and this is Kritika Kushwaha. Talking about ConQuest, I've been a quizzer for a certain amount of time now, and if you want to read anything and if you want to know about something that you think that you are not able to do it, so gamify it. It's a kind of advice that I would give to everyone here. So gamify it, make it a quiz-like setting, and you will be able to know a lot of things and keep that with you for a long time. Thank you.
Wonderful. Gamify the experience to engage with it better. Fabulous advice there. And over to NLSIU.
I'm Aditya. This is Siddhant. That is Varenya. We're from NLS. And I think one thing that we realize being part of ConQuest is that constitutions aren't self-enforcing documents. You need sustained efforts through mass awareness, through things like quizzes, to make constitutions strong and constitutional fidelity go on throughout time.
Right. You need spaces to reinforce the message and the ideals of the Constitution. Fabulous message there. Over to GNLU.
Hi, I'm Surabhi. We're from GNLU, Gujarat, Gandhinagar. This is Vidita and this is Adya. One thing I learned from my ConQuest journey was just how ignorant I was about women's journey in the freedom movement, and especially how hard to come by suffrage was. It's something I taken for a given, but I really learned how that actually people fought for it, and the Constitution gave it to us because of struggles and stuff.
Wonderful message there. The women's movement that was so very important in the constitution making process. Fabulous. And over to IIM Calcutta to finish our roundup.
So hi, we are a team from IIM Calcutta. I'm Komal, this is Aishwarya, this is Jatin. Through this process, we got to learn how the founding fathers of our constitution were way ahead of their times, and how the things which seem pretty normal right now were not back then, and how things were brought into the constitution from different parts of the world. So
wonderful. So taking different aspects from different constitutions of the world. Can we have a huge round of applause for our national finalists as we kick action with ConQuest Grand Finale. So let me give them a quick overview of how the rounds are going to look like. Okay, so 5 rounds of quizzing. There's going to be 2 mixed bag rounds, mixed bag with questions called Potpourri round. We go clockwise, and then we go anti-clockwise. And then we have a listed round, and then followed by 2 rounds on the buzzer, and we'll explain the rules. And I think we are ready. We'll start out with the first round. It's called the Potpourri round. I think I'll start out with the rules for the Potpourri round. These teams are well aware of the drill and the rules. 6 questions in all. We go clockwise. Plus 10 for a correct answer, and there is passing. But in any team, if they want to pounce, that is within 10 seconds of me reading out the question, if they think that they know the answer, they can raise their hand and indicate to me that they are going for that answer. If you get it right, plus 10. If you get it wrong, minus 10. Teams, all the very best. The first question will go to IIM Calcutta from the Potpourri round. Teams pouncing, be alert. Here comes the first question. This Constituent Assembly member was one of India's finest tennis players and even played at Wimbledon. Besides being elected to the Constituent Assembly, she was nominated to the Advisory Committee and the Subcommittees on Fundamental Rights and Minorities. She was also the niece, and this is the most interesting fact that we unearthed, of Henry Golaknath, a missionary from Bengal and the famous petitioner in the famous landmark constitutional case, Golaknath versus Union of India. He was named the Times Magazine Women of the Year for the year 1947 when India got its independence. Teams pouncing, please raise your hand now. I see 2 teams pouncing. 3, 2, and 1. I close pounce. I see 3 teams pouncing. I quickly check their answers. Okay, so I've seen their answers. Over to I Am Calcutta.
We're going to guess this is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur.
So you're saying this is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, who was a Wimbledon tennis player. That's the right answer. Very good. India's first health minister. This is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. Very, very good quality answer. Plus 10 for I Am Calcutta. Teams which pounce, please raise your hand. I have Lady Shriram College LSR 10 points. Kaylee Law College 10 points. Campus Law Center 10 points. And I Am Calcutta Team B, or I'll call you Team 2 for the purpose of the quiz, 10 points. Good answering by all the finalists here. So you'll see the quality of the teams here. This is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. And and law students would know about the famous Golaknath judgment. And she was Mr. Golaknath's niece as well. Okay, moving on to the next question. And that is a direct to Goa University. We follow infinite bounds. So the team which answers, that next team gets the next question. Goa University, your question coming up on the screen. So in 1913, the Pacific Coast Hindustan Association was formed by Indian immigrants, which later came to be called the Gaddar Party. With donations raised with the help of Indian diaspora, the party established the Yugantar Ashram, where a printing press was set up with the donations they raised. The movement started a weekly publication called the Hindustan Gaddar, whose first edition appeared on 1st November 1913. The issues were handwritten before being printed in the press. What measure did the press workers take with respect to circulation of the publication in order to shield from the British intelligence, right? So in order to protect the movement supporters from British intelligence, what specific action did the press workers of the Hindustan Gaddar take to protect them, right? This can be a creative answer. You can work out an answer. It could be anybody's guess. Put yourself into their place. British intelligence was quite covert. They had their ears to a lot of things that were happening and so on. To protect the names of the supporters, how did the press workers protect from the British intelligence is the question, right? This is famously how they did it, and that's why it makes it to the grand finale question, right? And it's a very logical answer if you were to think about it, but a very tough one. Like in a sense that no one would think that this is what they would do, right? That's why it makes it. Anyone pouncing for the question? Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand. Oh, okay, we have one team pouncing. Teams pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, and 1. I close pounce. I quickly check your answers. I have taken the answer from them. And Goa University, you're direct. Put on your creative caps on.
Okay, this is a wild guess. We'll go with, so it was basically Gaddar Party, right? So we'll go with, it was written in Punjabi language to make sure that, they could not understand it.
Right. So they used it in Punjabi language. The names were written down in Punjabi language. The British intelligence could not get to know of it. LSR?
They kept the Gaddar Party's newspapers inside novels and circulated them that way.
So they put it in like a circulating library or sorts in a books and so on. Good guess. Moving on to Kaylee, pounced. Over to Campus Law Center.
Perhaps the people who were delivering these
papers, they wore British official uniforms so as to...
They were British officials themselves, so they never could, get a doubt or suspect them. Good thinking answers. NLS?
They disguised it as war propaganda against the German.
Okay, so they disguised this as war propaganda against the Germans, and therefore they thought they were on the side of the British, so they would not really kind of suspect them again. Think of the good quality answers here.
We'll go the simple answer. We'll say they used pseudonyms for the authors or the members, the movement support.
They used pseudonyms. So let's say there were 1,000 people, they had 1,000 different names for them. Okay? I am Calcutta Team 2.
I think they used it as packaging material for like food items, and they circulated in the military cantonments.
So they used it as part of packaging of food items, and therefore they could not judge it. All very, very good answers. I am Calcutta Team 1.
We are guessing that it was hidden inside another newspaper, another publication.
It was hidden in as part of another newspaper, and therefore they were not able to. All very good answers. Unfortunately, I have not gotten the right answer, but in fact, all of these answers could have been right. But this instance, they used something else. Anyone in the audience want to take a crack at it? In fact, there were over 1,000 such supporters and subscribers for the Hindustan Gadar. Any guesses? Yes? Want to shout it out? Yeah, quickly, if you can give me an answer.
I think in the form of poetry, in Hindi poetry.
In form of Hindi poetry, they used it, couplets, etc. Very, very good thinking answer. Claps deserved, but not the right answer. But good creative answer. Okay, supposedly, the Hindustan Gadar press workers, all of them, like almost like how there is a test for the cab drivers in London, all of them had to memorize all the 1,000 names. So they had memorized all the 1,000 names who were the supporters for the Indian freedom movement, right? So that was how they ensured that there would be no way that the others could take it. Hard luck, folks, hard luck, but interesting funda nevertheless. Unfortunately, might feel a little bad when I'm giving negatives on pounds. -10 to KLE. They had one such guess where they said they had rolled it in chapatis and they were served, and that's how they were able thinking. Good thinking, but not quite here. So this was the answer for Goa University. Since no one answered, it comes back to them. And after 2 consecutive ones, I move on. Goa University, again to you. Third question. Right. So in a bizarre case, a Canadian court has ruled that something can be affirmed as a person officially entering into a contract. The judge called it the new reality in society that courts would have to confront as more people express themselves differently. The case was whether a farmer had agreed to sell 87 metric tons of flax to a grain buyer in 2021. The buyer had signed the contract and texted a photo to the farmer. The farmer contended that it simply confirmed that I received the flax contract and not that I agreed to it. In making the decision, the judge cited the dictionary.com definition of something, and it said used to express assent, approval, or encouragement. What did the court rule as something that would count as consent or so as part of a contractual agreement? And with this judgment, it has truly become a precedent to many, many such issues that come up in front of the court. Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand, right? And I close pounce now. I quickly check your answers.
अनेक पैसे के पास little specific. I'm going to give you a chance, but
okay, it's quite a little bit to think through the answers as they've written in a little bit of stress, looks like. And I'm going to give you another chance. Okay, so Okay, so over to Goa University.
So we think that this is WhatsApp. First of all, it's received through WhatsApp, and then people send the thumbs up just to agree.
That's the right answer. Absolutely. In a WhatsApp message, now you send thumbs up, and then you claim I did not consent to it. Sorry, you have a contract that is binding on you, is what the Canadian court said. Fantastic answer. Good 10 points for Goa University. And teams which pounced, if you can raise your hand for me to get it right. So I am Calcutta, team 1 got it right. LSR cracked it with 10 points. We have Campus Law Center who also got it right. National Law School also got it 10 points. GNLU got 10 points. And I am Calcutta, team 2 also got 10 points. Good answering there. A lot of you getting that right. Very good. So this is essentially a thumbs up emoji. So next question is to LSR. Your direct coming up on the screen. Here it comes. So on June 25th, 1975, the heart of the emergency, etc., Jayaprakash Narayan, during a gathering at Ramlila Maidan, called on the military to remove the government of Indira Gandhi from power. Initially, Srimati Indira Gandhi redirected the assembly from Chandni Chowk to Ramlila Maidan after denying them permission. Unfazed, she collaborated with her information and broadcasting minister V.C. Shukla to devise a strategy at dissuading people from participating in the protest. However, this plan ultimately proved unsuccessful. What was the strategy? Team, here I am clarifying the question. I'll give you part points if you tell me what was the strategy. If you tell me the specific, and I'm looking for a specific answer of the strategy, you will get another part points. So if you're pouncing, I would like you to, because it's the national final, I'm just being a little nitpicky here, request you to think and answer. I need a strategy and I need a specific. What did they do specifically? Right? Okay? Cool. So teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, it is direct to LSR. It's direct to LSR. 3, 2, and 1. I see 2 teams pouncing. Very quickly check your answers. Okay. So I've seen their answers, and the direct was to Lady Shri Ram College.
So they were showing Sholay on Doordarshan.
Very, very smart answer. So you're saying 1975, August 15th was when Sholay got released. So it's June 25th, unfortunately. Okay, so what is your, this one? So strategy is?
So the strategy was showing a movie on Doordarshan.
Okay, showing a movie on Doordarshan. Okay, Kelly?
Just a random guess. They might have made a misinformation stating that JP is unwell and is in hospital.
Okay, a misinformation news headline saying JP has gotten unwell and therefore not mobilized the crowd. Over to Campus Law Center. Because it's a pass, I need to move quickly. Okay, and you guys had pounced. JNLU?
They screened a movie in publicly. I'll say it was Diwar.
She says Diwar. I am Calcutta also went for it. I am Calcutta team 1. Any guesses? Since it's a pass, I need to be a little quick.
Screened a movie, Anand.
Anand? Goa University?
So wild guess, I can see Information Broadcasting Minister. So I think they played the national anthem just to make them, protest mat karo, ruko wahan pe. So I think it's a national anthem.
So national anthem, okay. So anyone in the audience who want to take a crack at it? Anyone in the audience? Right at the back, yes? Declared national emergency, not quite. Okay, so I'll use my discretion, give them 5 points because they came up with a strategy and they were the first team here to say the strategy. The movie that they played was, I don't know if you guys can guess the movie with this song, but let me try and play the song. So, effectively, they played the movie Bobby on DD, not Sholay, but movie Bobby. So teams which pounce, if you can raise your hand. NLSIU, good 10 points, full answer. I am Calcutta, team 2 also got it right, full 10 points. Very good. Both of them got that right. So they played this very popular movie at that time, Bobby. Right? Okay, moving on to the next question. Kaylee, your direct coming up on the screen. What specific charge or criticism was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar defending when he responded to members of the Constituent Assembly, including P.S. Deshmukh and B. Das, whose photographs we have shown? They had made a certain criticism, and this is how Dr. B.R. Ambedkar responded. If there can be any, in a constitution framed so late in the day, are the variations made to remove the faults and to accommodate it to the needs of the country. The charge of dash is based, I am sure, is an inadequate study of the Constitution. Right? So he said, those of you who are making that charge, you've perhaps not read the Constitution fully. Right? So that is how he put out. And he said, when you're drafting, and those are the lines. Okay? So teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, 1. I close pounce. I quickly check your answers. Okay? Okay. So I've seen their answers, and the direct was to Kaylee Law College.
Is it related to the emergency provisions that Ambedkar?
Emergency provisions, good thinking, not quite. Campus law.
So the charge was that the constitution that was being found was a copy paste and nothing original was catered. So it was not made for Indians. We were just copying and pasting what we had.
So blindly copy pasted from other constitutions, etc. I'll give it to you. That's the charge that was made against the drafting committee and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar goes to say that, when you're building that constitution at the last, later years, you look for the needs of the country and accordingly bring in provisions, regardless of whether you take it from other constitutions or not. It's well thought out, and therefore we borrow it. That's the answer I was looking for. Very good answer. Good 10 points from Campus Law Center, Delhi. 10 points to you folks. Teams which are pouncing, if you raise your hands, please. 10 points to LSR, 10 points to GNLU, and 10 points to I Am Calcutta, Team 2. Really raking in the points in the first round. Well done. Right? So there is always, even now this debate has kind of come through, but I think, looking at the Constitution, again, reading it, you'll realize that there were so many, important things that India had. And for that need that they built out many provisions, right? So we might have borrowed the best ideas from the others, but what's the harm? Right? So that's constitutional borrowing. And even from the Government of India Act of 1935 was the other big, charge that you have taken a lot of provisions from that. Okay, moving on to the next question, and that is to NLSIU. Teams pouncing, pay attention. Here is your question. This is a memorial in Kolaba, Mumbai, commemorating a significant event that took place from February 18th to February 25th, 1946, which many argued played a crucial role in accelerating British exit from India. During the week of this event, Prime Minister of Britain, Clement Attlee, announced he would send a cabinet mission to India to resolve the deadlock over the establishment of the Indian Constituent Assembly. The event was triggered by the unfair treatment of Indians after World War II and the court-martial of approximately over 23,000 INA, Indian National Army soldiers for high treason. This event is also part of the background of this John Masters' Bhavani Junction, a book and a movie that was made, whose plot is set around that time, and it has elements from the event that we are talking about. I'll just play a small clip to give you a flavor how Bhavani Junction looked like. It was one of the first American movies that were ever filmed in the Indian subcontinent, right? So, in fact, they were not given permission to film it in India. They filmed it in Pakistan. Here it goes.
Bhavani Junction, the book that became a sensation with its revealing story of modern India. Now on the screen, Ava Gardner relives the affairs of Victoria Jones. Stuart Granger portrays the romantic life of Colonel Savage. Bill Travers becomes the jealous lover, Patrick Taylor. To bring dramatic reality to the Book of the Month bestseller, MGM sent stars and technicians to Pakistan to film the first American movie ever made in that exciting corner of the earth. Here, in the setting of the original story, men have found strange and unusual ways to fight one another for power.
Right. So just a small clip for you guys to look at that aspect. Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, and 1. A close pounce. Quickly check your answers. Okay. Okay, so we've seen all the answers, and the direct was to NLSIU. Over to you, folks.
This is the naval mutiny.
The Royal Navy mutiny. I'll give it to you. That's the answer we were looking for. So, I mean, the ill treatment of many soldiers, etc. So there was about 2,000, 3,000 naval soldiers who went in mutiny, and that spread to other parts of the subcontinent in ships, etc. And that was like a very strong triggering point, and many people call it the last revolt of our independence as well. So this is the Royal Indian Mutiny. So this is a Royal Naval Uprising in Bombay. And there's a new book also which kind of talks about this from Pramod Kapoor. Okay, cool. So good answers. Teams which pounds, if you can quickly raise your hands. 10 points to IIM Calcutta, Team 2. Unfortunately, a minus 10 to JNLU. Plus 10 to Campus Law Center. Plus 10 to Lady Shriram College. And plus 10 to Goa University. Right? And plus 10 to IIM Calcutta Team 1 as well. They also went for it. Yeah? IIM Calcutta Team 1 also got it. Fantastic. Now, moving on. We've finished the first round of quizzing. Same rules. We go anti-clockwise. Starting from IIM Calcutta Team 2. Right? So let me quickly, same rules. So I'm just going to move very quickly to the question. Here it comes. Iru is a biographical work on Dash Curve. Right? An Indian scholar and one of the pioneers in her field of study, authored by Urmila Deshpande, who happens to be her great-granddaughter, and Thiago Binto Barbosa. She established a certain department for this discipline at University of Pune. Her doctoral education in Germany was in fact funded by Mr. Jivraj Mehta, who was the first chief minister of Gujarat, the erstwhile Diwan of Baroda, and also the husband of Constituent Assembly member Hansrao Mehta. Her research culminated in 2 seminal works, Kinship Organization of India and Hindu Society. Named after a geographical feature from the neighboring country, she was one of India's first known specialists in which field of study? This was the field of study that she started off as a department of study in Pune University. One of the first women specialists in this field of study. Right? That's the question. There are 2 parts to the question. You need to tell me the field of study, and you need to tell me the name, which was actually inspired by a geographical feature from the neighboring country. Okay, work this out. Teams which are pouncing, I want you to raise your hands now. 3, 2, and 1. I see 2 teams pouncing. I quickly check their answers. Okay. And I've seen both their answers, and IIM Calcutta, over to you.
Yeah, so this is Iravati Karve, and she was a pioneer in anthropology in India.
She was a pioneer in anthropology. Fantastic answer. So, woman pioneer of anthropology. She started a field of study in University of Pune, and her studies include multiple things. In fact, she worked under a German senior who wanted to prove how people of white skin skulls were better in terms of intellect and so on. He observed close to about 250 odd skulls that disproved her own mentor's thing. So she was like a pioneer in her sense. So very good answer. I am Calcutta. Can you have a huge round of applause for that completely? And what geographical feature is he named after?
It's Mount Eravat.
Irrawaddy River from Myanmar. So that's the answer we were looking for. Well done. 10 points. Teams which pounced, if you can raise your hands. So 10 points to NLSIU. They got both the parts right. LSR got one part right, another part wrong, right? It's hard luck, but good that you guys went for it. You wanted to try it. So they get a -10, unfortunately, but well done. Okay, so that's the first question. This is Miss Iravati Karve. And incidentally, you can see Dr. C.V. Raman and so on. There was Ms. Karve there. Okay, moving on to the next question. And the question is to JNLU. Over to you, folks. The Civil Rights Department, or the CRD, in the US 2020 lawsuit against Cisco Systems marked a historic first in the US addressing a unique form of workplace issue. The case stemmed from a 2016 incident where the Cisco employee, John Doe, to protect their identity, had personal details about his background revealed by his manager. When he raised concerns, he allegedly faced retaliation, including isolation, reduced responsibilities, and denial of promotion. This led to CRD filing the lawsuit, which spurred new workspace policies, educational reforms, and legislative proposals in different states in the United States. What specific issue was at the heart of this case is the question, a historic judgment from US courts, right? So you need to tell me what is the issue, right? Teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand now. 3, 2, and 1. I close pounce. I take Goa University's, okay? Okay. So I've seen their answers, and the direct is to GNLU.
So it was a case of caste discrimination.
It was a case of caste discrimination in United States.
United States.
And now there are policies to protect South Asian people in United States against caste discrimination. Superb answer. Can you have a huge round of applause? That is right, right? So he was discriminated on the basis of caste, and unfortunately, that was, and then the jurisprudence kind of have come out from judgments and legislative policies. Superb answer. Teams which pounce, if you can raise your hands. Team NLSIU cracked it with good 10 points. Very well done. Good 10 points. Lady Shriram College, -10. They're they're saying we will give our best. Good guess, not quite. And -10 for Goa University also. There also was a very topical and a very important issue, but not this particular case. Good thinking, all of you. And now to the next question, and this is direct to NLSIU, coming up on the screen. The Supreme Court Observer recently received a response to an RTI requesting the Supreme Court for information on certain cases. The Supreme Court Registry provided 24 case titles, mainly connected to a 1986 Maharashtra amendment allowing the state to take over private property due to inadequate repairs. Additionally, the list prominently features cases from the well-known MC Mehta environmental and public interest litigation series, where the court has issued ongoing orders for issues relating to environmental and civic governance. What was the RTI about? Or tell us what connects all these cases, right? The RTI specifically asked for certain kind of cases. You need to tell me what was this RTI about, right? So teams which are pouncing, please raise your hand. And of course, Supreme Court Observer is a great archives of judgments with distilled, issues, judgment, from the court and so on. So if you've not gotten a chance, you should definitely go and explore it. Teams which are pouncing, 3, 2, and 1. I close pound. Okay. So I was just about to say, so do you want me to take it? You said before I said close. You want to go? You want to go for it? Okay, they are going for it. And okay, right? NLSIU, over to you folks.
Right, so long run answer, but there are some heritage buildings in Mumbai which have been taken over by different private stores, like Zara has taken one over, so probably related to them, heritage buildings in the...
So old heritage buildings in Bombay taken over by private people, etc., and the cases relating to them. Moving on to Campus Law Center.
So the implementation of the GRAP regulations across the country.
Implementation of the?
GRAP regulations.
GRAP regulations. Moving on to KLE.
Is it related to people illegally occupying heritage sites and...
illegally occupying heritage sites and therefore, good thinking, not quite. Lady Shriram College.
So bulldozing of buildings.
Bulldozer justice judgment and bulldozing buildings and those cases. Goa University.
I'll go with enemy property. Enemy property.
Enemy property. And the case was about what are the enemy properties that still exist in our country. I am Calcutta.
We'll guess this is about the slums in Dharavi or...
Slums in Dharavi with all the recent corporate who's trying to take over it and so on. I am Calcutta, Team 1. Team 2.
I would guess it is related to the princely states which might be existing in Maharashtra and the properties related to that.
The properties of the princely states, privy purses and so on. All good answers. GNLU went for last minute, they wanted to go for it. Anyone in the audience? It's a very logical, curious question that you and I might have. And it's one of the larger issues that the Supreme Court and the judiciary is constantly looking to address. Right? And this was like a matter of knowing which amongst them. And so that was the clue I'm looking at. Any guesses from any of you? Okay? Looks like this is a question that bowled over many of you in the audience and in the finals. They sought the oldest case still pending in the Supreme Court of India. Right? So the biggest thing is pending of cases in the Supreme Court. So what were some of the oldest pending cases at the Supreme Court of India? So that was all that I was looking for, because that's a matter of, how fast we can reduce. So, we have some 30 plus, 40 plus years cases in the Supreme Court, right? So that is a little bit of a hard one, but there's a beautiful article on it, and go ahead and read about it. Next question. Yeah, thanks for that. And they're a very earnest team. I'll tell you why. Unfortunately, a -10, but they still ensured that they got my attention and they got it. So well played. I appreciate it. Okay, next question coming up on the screen, all of you. Since no one got that right, NLSIU, it's a direct to you guys, correct? Yeah. So over to you guys. Here it comes. So take a moment, breathe through. There's a little longish question. I'm going to first play you an audio. Okay? Audio is a collaboration between a group of musicians from the transgender community residing in the border areas of Karnataka, Maharashtra, and Telangana, and a renowned Magsaysay awardee. This community carries forward a singing tradition that is deeply devotional, praising Yellamma. Like many other queer communities, they face marginalization and stigma. Their compositions are in Marathi and Kannada. Now, that's one part. The second part is this collaboration is, the other person is a Magsaysay awardee. In question is a grandnephew of the Constituent Assembly member we have shown you in the image there. And he was member of the drafting committee as well, and who opined that unjust social practices should be tackled through legislative reform and public mobilization. He was incredible, incidentally, this is an important fact for all of you. The Magsaysay awardee was incidentally named after this Constituent Assembly member. Identify the two collaborators and in this unique musical partnership. I'm going to play the audio.
ಎಷ್ಟು ವಧುರಲಿ ಅಂಬಾಣಿನಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೂಗಾಲಿ ರೇಣುಕಾನಿ ಮಗ ಹೋಗುನ್ನಡಿರಿಗ ನಾವು ದೇವಿ ಎಲ್ಲಮ್ಮಗ ಹೋಗುನ್ನಡಿರಿಗ ನಾವು ತಾಯಿ
a musical group. Now the next collaborator. This person. The second collaborator.
Jagadam Bagananu Ambagam Jagadam Bagananu Ambagam Jagadam Bagananu Amba
I could just keep going on with the song, but teams which are bouncing, please raise your hand. We need to identify the musical group and the Magsaysay awardee who are collaborated in this musical collaboration, right? Teams which are bouncing, yes? Musical group's name. There's a particular name by which they are known by, right? Teams which are bouncing, 3, 2, and 1. I close bounce, and the direct is to NLSIU. Part points available.
Jogapas and TM Krishna.
So you're saying the community is Jogapas.
And the other collaborators, TM.
Collaborators TM Krishna.
Named after?
Named after TM Krishna.
Grandfather.
Okay. But let's see if they have gotten. So that's the right answer. TM Krishna and the Jogapas.
ಎಷ್ಟು ವಧುರಲಿ ಅಂಬಾಣಿನಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೂಗಾಲಿ ರೇಣುಕಾ ನಿಮಗ ಹೋಗುನ್ನಡಿರಿಗ ನಾವು.
So it's a fantastic collaboration. In fact, they just performed in Bangalore a couple of days back in the Bangalore Habba. And if you get a chance, do go explore that music. It's beautiful, right? So this is TM Krishna, and he was the grandnephew of T.T. Krishnamachari. From T.T. Krishnamachari comes the famous musician T.M. Krishna. So that's something that, for all of you, a constant assembly connection to this collaboration. Fantastic answer, NLSIU. Good 10 points. Well done. Right? Part of ConQuest is also to take us to the roots of people, from different communities, folklores, facing different forms of, marginalization and so on, right? But also bringing to them the fore, right? Next question is to Team Campus Law Center. Your direct coming up. People of South Asian origin today are between 4 and 6 times more likely to get type 2 diabetes than Caucasian people. Well, the role of diet and lifestyle has been explored. It's only recently that the impact of the disproportionate number of 25 of something which occurred under the official British colonial rule, 89 years, compared to 15 which occurred in 2,000 years preceding the British rule. What specifically have studies shown to be the reason for this phenomenon, right? What is the specific reason that research has shown attributed to the British rule that the South Asians have a higher propensity to get type 2 diabetes? Teams which are bouncing, quickly raise your hand now. 3, 2, 1. I close bounce. I quickly check your answers. So I've seen their answers, and the direct is to Campus Law Center, Delhi.
So these are the famines that happened during the British rule. For example, the Great Bengal famine and all.
So you're saying because of famine, what happened?
What happened is we started depositing fats in the lower parts of the abdomen in specifically East Indians. So because of which we get diabetes these days.
Okay, so fat deposits because of that. I'll give it to you. Very good answer. What happens is during famines, our body starts to get prepared for starving, right? And therefore, we become little resistant to insulin. Now, our bodies are now genetically modified to some extent where we are resistant to insulin largely. But when there is abundance like now, when we have enough food, processed food and so on, we have more than required sugar and we are also resistant to insulin. So therefore, what happens is it deposits as fat or any other ways in which it finally turns into diabetes. That's the answer we were looking for. I think a huge round of applause for that good answer. Social events have a great impact on human lives, right? And this is one such. Teams which are pouncing, if you can raise your hand. I am Calcutta, Team 1, 10 points. GNLU, 10 points. NLSIU, 10 points. LSR, 10 points. 10 points to I am Calcutta, Team 1, right? Fabulous answers, everyone. So I think all of them deserve a good round of applause. Right, so next question. Swatantrapur, founded in 1939 by the rulers of the state of Aundh, is now located in the Sangli district of Maharashtra. It was the site of an experiment led by a Polish immigrant Jewish refugee, Morris Friedman, who interestingly was the person along with Gandhiji who drafted the new constitution for the princely state of Aundh. And it was known as the Aundh experiment. This unique initiative at Swatantrapur inspired the famous director V. Shantaram for a Hindi film remembered by this iconic song, "E Malik Tera Bandham," sung by Lata Mangeshkar. The film actually went on to win a Silver Bear Award in the 8th Berlin International Film Festival. Two parts to the question. What makes Swatantrapur unique? What was the experiment that was done in Swatantrapur that inspired this movie? And what is this movie? Playing a audio from, actually a video clip, which also has the famous song by Lata Mangeshkar. Here it comes. I've played the audio clip. I need to identify two parts. What was this unique experiment? And tell me, what is the movie? Right? Teams are pouncing now. 3, 2, direct is to Kaylee. 3, 2, 1. I close pounce. I quickly check their answers. And the direct is to Kaylee. Over to you, folks.
Sir, is the experiment where people from all religions are in a single village, secularism and so on?
Okay, an experiment in secularism where all people of all religions came and said, that's India. Okay, but good guess. But anything else? What is the move of the movie? Okay. Moving on to LSR.
So, local self-government is the experiment. Local self-government is the
Local self-government is the experiment.
movie. It's Do Aankh Bara Haath something.
Okay.
So I'm mad that I can't recollect the name of the movie. The experiment was open prisons. So people could just, the family members could also come here to the prisons and, they, so basically open prison. Idea was open prisons.
But I'll give it to them. That's the right answer between both of them. I mean, this is the most quirkiest answer that we could hear. The name of the movie was this one. So they said that, right? So they said that by just working out. So I'll give it to them. That's 5 points to Lady Shriram College, right? She was in her head somewhere. He said, Do Aankhe Bara Haath. I'll give it to you because after hearing this answer, I mean, if there are small variations also, it's fine. And good 10 points for them. This was an open jail. No walls, open jail, which is a concept that we follow in multiple prisons today in India, right? Fabulous answer. I think they deserve a good round of applause for that. Cracker. And there's also a beautiful way in which how a Polish immigrant did this experiment and that inspired a movie and he was involved in a constitution for a princely state, right? Fabulous answers from all of them. I'll give you 5 points to the first team that answered. So 5 points for LSR, 5 points to Open Prison. Yeah, okay? That's the answer. And team which bounced, can I have a huge round of applause for I Am Calcutta, who got that right. Team 1 cracked both the parts right. This is Duang Ki Barahat and Open Jail. Fabulous. With that, we've come to the end of 2 rounds of quizzing. Now for some action with questions from listed round, which my colleague Anaga will run for all of you. But before that, a few audience questions. These are audience questions we've asked in the course of our ConQuest 2024. So here is one such question. So anyone who wants to take a crack at this, which was one of the first princely states, so to say, which established a representative assembly, and it was the handiwork of this gentleman, K.R. Srinivas Iyengar. And notably, the Constitution introduced affirmative action, such as reservation for Muslims, depressed classes, and so on, with limited franchise. Which princely state? Lots of clues in the question. Over to you there.
Mysore.
You're saying Mysore, and why Mysore?
Srinivas Iyengar is from Mysore.
Srinivas Iyengar is from Mysore. I'll give it to you. That's the right answer. And if you look closely here, there was the Ganda Berunda, which is the insignia of the Mysore Maharajas, and later even like the BMTC and multiple things in Bangalore. Very good answer. This is the Mysore state. Well done. Next question coming up on the screen for the audience. So on June of 1947, a Nobel laureate who we have blanked out there is shaking hands with Pandit Nehru, drawing comparisons between the plight of untouchables in India and the population of the newly established Jewish state. He stated, I read that the curse of the pariah was about to be lifted from millions of Hindus in the very days when the attention of the world was fixed on the problem of another group of human beings who, like the untouchables, have seen the victims of persecution and discrimination for centuries. However, Pandit Nehru was not persuaded, and laureates' attempt to influence Nehru's stance on the Israeli state failed. Which famous Nobel laureate are we referring to? Anyone in the audience? Yes?
Rabindranath Tagore.
Very good guess. Not quite. Not Rabindranath Tagore. But Rabindranath Tagore did have multiple such.
Is it Einstein?
Is it Einstein? It is Albert Einstein. Very good answer. In fact, when the Jewish state Israel was formed, I think he was offered to be the president, the first president of Israel as well. Okay, so that is Albert Einstein. And with that, we've completed our audience questions. After 2 rounds of quizzing, this is how the national finalists fared. I Am Calcutta, team 1.5 century. Can we have a huge round of applause? Goa University at 15. Lady Shriram College with some risks that they've taken, but they've still at 40. Very well done. KLE Law College, they've answered some very good answers, but unfortunately, I think first 2 rounds have been a little googly for them, but I'm sure they'll come through with the next few rounds. Campus Law Center, Faculty of Law at 50. Right now, leading our NLSIU and I Am Calcutta team 2. A huge round of applause for them. And GNLU at 20 points. Right? So that's our scorecard after 2 rounds of quizzing. And over to Anaga to take through for the next round.
Okay, with that, we move on to our 3rd round, that is the listed round. I believe all the finalists here know how listed round works. So just for the audience's interest, so very quickly, I'll read out the rules. 8 questions, so 1 directed to each team. And we will go clockwise, starting from I Am Calcutta 1 to I Am Calcutta 2. 9 options appear on the screen. 6 of them are correct. 3 of them would be wrong. Right? Plus 5 for each correct answer. 0 if even 1 option is. So let's go with a sample question. This will be for the audience, and here it goes. Fundamental duties as per Article 51A of the Indian Constitution. And the timer has started. Anybody in the audience, if you would wish to answer, please raise your hand. You can... Okay, we're reading. Anybody in the audience would want to... Yes, again, 6 of them would be correct. Yes, okay, let's hear it. Yes, please, please.
Participation in democracy of the will.
Participate in the democratic process of voting. That is actually wrong. If it were the finalists, the question would have closed. Yes.
to uphold and protect the sovereignty of India.
To uphold and protect the sovereignty of India. Okay, that is correct. Why don't you go ahead with a couple more guesses?
Okay, to safeguard public property,
Public property, that is correct.
respect the national anthem,
National anthem, super.
protect and improve the natural environment,
Natural environment, bottom, yes.
respect the senior citizen of country,
Senior citizens. That I think is a moral responsibility maybe, but not quite. Okay. Could we? Yes. Go ahead. Why don't you just shout it out for me? First one, render national service when called upon. And one last. Provide friendly cooperation to the people. Not quite. It was renounce practices that are derogatory to the dignity of women. Right? So this is how the listed round would go. Within 1 minute is what you'll have to guess. Right? So once I read the question out is when we will start the timer. And as and when you're giving me an option, please mention go at the end. So if it were to protect and improve the natural environment, please tell me to protect and improve the natural environment, go. So once I hear the keyword go is when we will click on that option. Hope that is clear to all the finalists. Okay, superb. Since we're going clockwise, we'll start with IIM Calcutta Team 1, and your listed is like this. During British rule, princely states were ranked by ceremonial gun salutes ranging from 3 to 21 shots, with higher salute signifying greater prestige. Princely states which receive the highest number of gun salutes is what I want. Your time starts now. Okay, you have 9 options in front of you. 6 of them are correct. What I want is princely states which receive the highest number of gun salutes. Okay. I'm Calcutta 1, whenever you are ready. Last around 35 seconds.
We'll go with Patiala.
Patiala, go. Yes. Adi, that's not the right one. Looks like for the listed round, we have a little bit of starting trouble, but that's okay. Sadly, we'll be closing the question here. But for no points, why don't you give me a couple more guesses?
Mysore.
Mysore, is it? Okay, we'll see Mysore.
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Let's see Hyderabad. That was also correct.
JNK.
Sorry? JNK. Jammu and Kashmir would also have been right.
Alwar.
Alwar would have been wrong. Anybody in the audience? Gwalior. Oh, that was a loud, this one. One more. Baroda. Let's see. Baroda was also correct. Bhopal. Okay. Tripura was wrong. Even though we've started with slight bit of trouble here, no problem. Moving on to Goa University, this is your listed question. Let's see your question. A scheme of political safeguards for the protection of the depressed classes in the future constitution of a self-governing India. A memorandum by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Rao Bahadur R. Srinivasan, 1930, to the Round Table Conference. So what all did this include is all that I want. Your time starts now.
We'll go with protection against discrimination.
Protection against discrimination goes, okay, +5. Okay, you still have 40 seconds. You can think. Read the options carefully. 30 seconds more. Lot of thinking happening. About 15 seconds only. 5 points are already in the kitty. Let's see if Goa will go for a few more guesses. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And closing the question. Goa University gets +5 on this question for the correct option that they chose, protection against discrimination. Okay, let me actually go to the audience because they're quite enthusiastic. Let me take it from some of the students. Yes? Separate settlements for depressed classes would have been wrong, sadly, but go ahead.
So it's for free enjoyment of equal rights.
Free enjoyment of equal rights. Yes, very quickly. Next.
Adequate representations in legislatures.
Okay, that also. What else? One more. Think. Okay, let's quickly go to the right answer. And yes, it was offense of boycott defined. Okay, Panchayati Raj and collectivization of farms were not there. Okay, with that, we move on to Lady Shriram College. Your question. Elisa, your question is like this. Women Nobel Peace Laureates, and your time starts now.
Woman Bertha.
Sorry?
Bertha.
Can you be louder, please?
Bertha von Suttner.
Bertha von Suttner. Okay, let's see. That is correct. Plus 5. 20 seconds more. Last 15 seconds. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, time's up. 5 points to you. Okay. Just in the interest of time, let's quickly look at all the answers. Alba Medal, Rigoberta Manchu, Jodie Williams, Maria Ressa, Tavakol would have been right answers. The center 3 were wrong. Superb job there, Elisa. Next question is direct to KLE. Your question is like this. Books by Anand Teltumde. That's your question, and your time starts now. Which among these 9 options that are in front of you are books written by Anand Teltumde? Okay. 45 seconds. Yes.
Mahat, the making of the first Dalit revolt.
Mahat, the making of the first Dalit revolt. Let's see. That is correct. Last 5 to you already. 5 more would be right. Around 20 seconds only.
Iconoclast.
Iconoclast, a reflective biography of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. That is absolutely right. Plus 5 again. Around 10 more seconds to go. They're thinking if...
Stop.
You'd want to stop? Okay, time's also up. Good strategy there. 10 points to you, KLE College. So very quickly, let's look at the answers. Waiting for a visa would not have been the right one. Why am I an atheist would also not be a right one. And now you can see all the correct ones on the screen. Superb job there, KLE. You get plus 10 on this question. With that, we move to Campus Law Center. Here's your question on the screen. Countries that have presidential form of government. Okay, and your time starts now. Okay. Countries that have presidential form of government. Among these 9, 6 are correct, 3 are wrong. Yes, Campus Law Center, you can start giving me the options. Yeah, go ahead.
Go Turkey.
Go Turkey. Let's see Turkey. Plus 5.
Go Argentina.
Go Argentina. Let's see. Plus 5 again.
Go Brazil.
Go Brazil. Let's see. Super.
Go USA.
Go USA. That is also correct.
Go Mexico.
Go Mexico. Let's see. Okay. Will it be a full house now? That's it. You don't want to go for another option at all. You can think for the last 10 seconds. Okay, 5 of them are correct and plus 5 to each of these. So they get a total of 25 on this question. Highest as of now. Superb. For no points, CLC, which option would you have chosen?
Myanmar.
Myanmar. Let's see if Myanmar... It would have been right. Would have been a full house, but that's okay. That's okay. 25 there. Great going, CLC. With that, we move on to our next question. This is direct to NLSIU. Your question is like this. Christian members of the Constituent Assembly. Right? So that's your question. Your timer has started. You can start guessing at any point of time.
Annie Mascarene.
Annie Mascarene, go. That is correct. Plus 5 to you. "40 seconds more. 5 more would be correct.
Elvin, go.
Barrier
Barrier.
Elvin, let's see. Sadly, that's the wrong answer. So, NLSIU ends with 0 in this, though. But yeah, for no points, what other options?
Jaipal Singh.
Jaipal Singh would have been correct. And
Chaku.
Chaku, P.T. Chaku would also have been correct.
Mukherjee.
Mukherjee, see Mukherjee also. What else? Okay, right. These would have been correct. Leela Roy also. But hard luck, no worries. NSIU sadly ends with a 0 in this round though. With that, we move to GNLU. Your question is like this. Countries with codified constitutions, that's your question. Okay, 6 of them are correct. Your timer has started. At any point of time, you can start guessing. You can choose up to 6 answers, plus 5 for every correct answer. Okay, GNLU, 30 seconds only. Please keep an eye on the timer. Okay, last 20 seconds, GNLU.
Austria.
Austria, let's see. Austria, that is correct. Superb.
Okay. North Korea.
North Korea, let's see. North Korea, that is also correct. Plus 5 again.
Israel.
Israel, let's see. Israel. Okay, sadly, that's a wrong one. Time has also ended. They would have got 10 points, but ended with 0. Hard luck, no worries at all. Yeah, for no points, what other options would you have chosen?
San Marino.
San Marino would also have been wrong.
Nepal.
Nepal was correct.
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia would have been wrong, so the others are of course correct. Afghanistan, Peru, Syria, North Korea, Nepal and Austria would have been right ones. Okay, so the next question is direct to IIM Calcutta 2. Your listed would be like this. Countries where posthumous reproduction is prohibited, right? And your time starts now.
Pakistan.
Pakistan, let's see Pakistan, that is correct, plus 5. Last 15 seconds. Okay, last.
Israel.
Israel, let's see Israel. But it's actually wrong, so you end up with 0 again, IIM Calcutta 2, sadly. Here's the score, how it looks like. IIM Calcutta 1 at 50 points. Then we have Goa University at 20, Lady Shriram at 45, KLE Law College at 10, Campus Law Center at 75, National Law School of India University at 70, NLU Gujarat at 20, IIM Calcutta 2 at 70 points.
We've come to the last 2 rounds of the national finals of ConQuest. Before I think we begin, can we have a huge round of applause for all the finalist teams, the best from the country? And we will get the audience question first. So if I were to show you this image and say, connect all of these images, what would come to mind? Work it out. So dash is an estimation of revenue and expenses. Here I've blanked out the name of the movie. And then the dash is coming, and then I've written special. Any guesses from any of you? Yes? Right here? What is the connect? So what's the connect?
Monsoon is coming. That's the monsoon session. The movie is the monsoon wedding.
Okay, so you're saying all of it is monsoon, not the right answer, not the right answer. Good guess, not the right answer. Anyone here on the audience? She got one element right, and if any of you wants to take a crack at it, yes? So you're saying these are all sessions of the parliament. That's the right answer. The budget session, monsoon session. We are presently at the winter session and the special session. So these were all the sessions of the parliament. Very good answer. Now for the teams. Teams, first let's quickly check your buzzers so everything's working fine. We good? Right? So, in the next round, we have 5 questions in all. Here it comes. The first question coming up on your screen now. Connect. What connects all of these elements? Oh yes, LSR has gone for it on a flash. Answer.
It's the Red Fort trials.
You're saying Red Fort. Explain.
They were trials of the INA soldiers here in the Red Fort. So, and rupees 500 note features Red Fort.
A Red Fort.
And then
Nathuram Godse
Subhash Chandra Bose there.
trials happened at Red Fort. Bahadur Shah Zafar was tried at the Divanai Khas of the Red Fort. Fabulous answer. Lady Sriram College. Very good. This is Red Fort. Very, very good answer. Fingers on the buzzer. Next question coming up on your screens now. Connect. Oh, Goa University has gone in a flash.
Finance Commission. KC Nyogi was the first person. That is the recent one. Yes, 16 Finance Commission has been till date. Finance Commission.
Finance Commission is the right answer. KC Nyogi was the first chairman of the Finance Commission. Arvind Panagria is the present Finance Commission, 16th Finance Commission. And this is the weightage on which the devolution formula is usually made on the basis of demographic performance, income, population, forest, ecology, tax and fiscal efforts. Fabulous answer. Good 10 points. Fingers on the buzzer. Next question coming up on the screen now. Connect. Connect to a personality from the... Okay.
It's Durga Bai Deshmukh.
You want to explain that?
That's CD Deshmukh, like a husband of Durga Bai Deshmukh. And that is, she was part of Planning Commission. And that logo, I'm forgetting. So, like,
that's the Andhra Education Society in New Delhi that she started. She was the founder of the Venkateshwara College in Delhi. She was a pioneer in starting family courts, and she was also the founder of the National Council on Women's Education. A superb answer at Campus Law Center. This is the Constituent Assembly member, Ms. Durga Bai Deshmukh, a pioneer in her own right. Very good quality answers coming from the finalists. Next question. Fingers on the buzzers, teams. Here it comes. Connect. Sir Francis Fenwick Pearson. Oh, okay. Campus Law Center. Need a specific answer.
So this is the constitution of Manipur. So Patrick Lawrence, he was like the advisor and all. And that is the flag of Manipur. He's Bo Chandra Singh. And I am not able to get the date.
Bo Chandra Singh, the princely king who commissioned the constitution of Manipur. Oh, very, very good answer. And said Francis Fenwick Pearson, who was the part of the Indian political service and who headed the commission, etc. Very, very good answer. This is the constitution of Manipur, state constitution, which many argue that right after this constitution, one of the first elections in democratic India after the one was held in Manipur in about 1948 or so on, basis this constitution. Very, very good answer. Fingers on the buzzer. Last question. Yes. Okay, we have a team that's gone for it. KLE, over to you folks.
Is it Suchita Kriplani singing Nest?
I need a connection.
Constituent Assembly.
I need a proper finals connection. Last guess for you to give me. You've given me too many answers. One answer, I need to take it now or I'm going to, unfortunately, have to avoid negatives.
Sir, is a committee where देश and सारे जहाँ से अच्छा in the Constituent Assembly by Sucheta Kriplani.
Okay, but what is the connection? Overall connection is what we're looking for. I can't give it to you in the finals, KLE. Hard luck. Hard luck. Here, we needed a little more specific. What connects all of these people specifically was what we were looking for. Anyone in the audience? Right? This is related to Constituent Assembly, of course, but something more specific that happened in the Constituent Assembly. No one taking a crack at the audience. I'll probably let one of the teams go for a crack at it. Yes, Goa University, you want to tell us?
Is this the first session of the Independence Day? The first session, all the people who spoke over there. So
I will give it to you. This is the midnight session of the August 15th, 1947, which was held in the Constituent Assembly. These were all the speakers. Of course, this Hensa Mehta came up with the national flag and offered it to the nation. And we had Sucheta Kriplani also sing the national song. But the idea was I needed the midnight session of the Constituent Assembly, right? So these were four, like others who spoke, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, Mr. Chaudhary Kalikusman, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay, so this, we've concluded our connection round. The last round of quizzing left. 10 points for every right answer, minus 10 if you get an incorrect answer. Last round coming up on the screen. 10 questions. A quick audience questions. Right. So this is journalist Sukanya Shanta who petitioned the Supreme Court regarding caste-based discrimination in a certain place across India. The Supreme Court held these practices unconstitutional in a recent judgment that the model codes governing these places to be revised to prevent such discrimination. Where was this caste-based discrimination challenged, or in what codes, or in which place was this, even to this day it was performed, and certain set of people were given certain jobs, etc., basis caste. This was challenged. Where do you think this was challenged? And yes?
Prison.
Prison is the right answer. Absolutely.
If a prisoner were to be actually given some special privilege, would be denied to somebody if he or she actually belongs to a certain caste or a community, which according to them should not be given that provision because they belong to a community which is habitual to commit crimes. Prison is...
Right? So this is prisons. A good answer. Now there are model codes which are going and striking those discriminatory laws that existed in prison, right? And I think I have one more question for you all, right? So this year, in many ways, 75 years of the Constitution and also the Olympics. So if you notice the ad, it had it. Sir Dorabji Tata, former chairman of the Tata Group, famously financed a 6-member contingent which was headed to Antwerp in 1920. He was a pioneer of a certain movement in India as the first president of which organization set up in 1924. Any guesses? So he financed the first set of players to the Olympics. I'll give it to you, and this is the Indian Olympic Movement and Association. That's the right answer. That was financed by Dorabji Tata, right? The last round of quizzing left. After 4 rounds of quizzing in this grand finale of our ConQuest, I am Calcutta at 50 points. Can we have a huge round of applause for them? Goa University at 30, Lady Shri Ram College trudging along with their 1s and 2s and 5s at 55, Kelly Law College, they're taking some risk. It's hard luck, but they are a good quality team. Let's see how they perform in the last round. Campus Law Center, Faculty of Law is at 95. National Law School, India University at 70, GNLU at 20, and I am Calcutta Team 2 at 70 points. Right, that's the tally as we storm into the last round of our quiz, the final showdown of the buzzer round. Fingers on the buzzer. Rules, 10 questions open to all teams. I've read out the rules. First question of the buzzer round coming up now. Fingers on your buzzers. Here it comes. This country, like India, adopted its constitution in the year 1949. The majestic parliament building is shown there from the country, which is called House of the Nation. And it is the world's 3rd largest parliament building. Which country is this? Which country is this? Interesting fact, they also adopted the constitution, right? So they are the only team to go for the buzzer. So let's take an answer. I'm taking my discretion, but none of them went for the buzzers. Yes?
Hungary? Hungary.
You're saying this is Hungary also adopted its constitution in 1949. I am Calcutta, 10 points. Very good, very good. Right, this was Hungary. Good answer there. Fingers on the buzzer. Next question coming up on the screen. Second question, here it comes. In Ramchandra Goa's recent book, Speaking with Nature, The Origins of Indian Environmentalism, 9 environmentalists are featured. Among them is a Constituent Assembly member who started the Van Mahotsav. Goa University has gone on a flash. Answer.
I'll guess this is Rajendra Prasad, the first Food and Agriculture Minister.
Minus 10, minus 10. Not Rajendra Prasad. Hard luck. Goa University. Anyone in the audience?
Raghav, let me try the next time.
Yeah, now you want to go for it.
Is it Munshi?
It is KM Munshi. Hard luck, team. Hard luck. This is KM Munshi. I think they're a great team, defending champions of ConQuest. Right? So this is KM Munshi. Hard luck, team. Fingers on the buzzer. Question number 3 on your screens now. What trend or pattern is illustrated by the data in the graph? Right? Yes, yes.
This is the percentage of women parliamentarians in India.
I'll take it, I'll give it to you. This is the percentage of women in Lok Sabha. This is women's strength in Lok Sabha. I'll give it to you. 10 points for that. Well done. Right? Fingers on the buzzer. Next question coming up on the screen now. In 2017, a South Indian state passed a bill recognizing this language as its second official language, citing cultural and historical significance. The fact that over 12% of the state's population speaks it. In 2022, another South Indian state did the same thing. Which language?
Portuguese.
Portuguese is what you're saying. Hard luck, I am Calcutta. Not Portuguese. Anyone in the audience? Right? Yes? Somebody said Urdu is the right answer. Urdu is the right answer. Hard luck, folks. Fingers on the buzzer. Next question on your screen coming up now. The Chamber of Princes in the old Parliament building was the seat of
The
which
Supreme Court.
The old Parliament building and the Chamber of Princes was the seat of the Supreme Court of India before it came into the Supreme Court building as we know it today from 1950 to 1958. Lady Shriram College, fabulous answer. Good going. This is the Supreme Court of India. And of course, like our Constitution, they're also celebrating the 75th anniversary of our Supreme Court. Right? And this is a fantastic feature in the Supreme Court Observer website. I urge all of you to go and look at the heritage of the Court of India, the Supreme Court of India. Fingers on the buzzers. Next question on your screen now. This pictured symbol was unfurled by the World Peace Association in 1938 to represent all humanity. It influenced which famous 1978 creation designed at the request of the pictured person? Yes, JNLU.
The pride flag.
You're saying the pride flag, and who's the gentleman? Okay, I will, save you from the misery of it. This is Harvey Milk, and that is the pride flag. Can we have a huge round of applause for a very good answer? This is the pride flag, which was later, I think, designed by Gary Baker. So this is pride flag. Very good answer. Good 10 points to JNLU. Well done. Fingers on the buzzers. Next question coming up on the screen, all of you. Here it comes. Referring to S.N. Mukherjee's role in the Constitution, I don't know, Goa University, what was the official role? Use the mic, please. He was the chief draftsman of the Constituent Assembly. Many unsung heroes of the Constituent Assembly. That is Mr. S.N. Mukherjee, who was the chief draftsman of the Constituent Assembly. Very, very good answer. Good 10 points, right? And he also played a very, very important role during the elections as well. He took the opinions of many public officials, public intellectuals, and so on, and kind of incorporated into the draft constitutions, discussions, and so on. Very good answer from Goa University. Next question coming up on the screen. Here it comes. The Quad, the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, is which country? Please use the mic.
So it's Japan, Australia, India.
United States of America, Australia, India, and Japan are part of the Quad, which is aimed at countering the growing influence of economic and military influence of China. That's the right answer. They took the image clue right away and went for it. This is Japan. Good 10 points. Goa University, well done. Last 2 questions of the quiz remaining. Fingers on the buzzer. Here it comes. The Madras High Court recently permitted a farmer in Tamil Nadu's Dharmapuri district to construct a memorial on his private land for tribal welfare advocate